Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to provide some context and clear up some information that has spread that isn't entirely accurate. And it's about something that I'm not covering in depth, but a whole bunch of questions came in about this because of, well, you'll see. So we're going to kind of go over this, but this isn't something I'm covering deeply. I mean, frankly, I just don't have the plates to cover everything, and I wouldn't want to make a mistake in reporting. Which brings us to what we're going to talk about. There is reporting that suggests 15,000 people in Iran have been sentenced to death. Didn't happen. That has not occurred. As far as any reporting that can be verified, there has been one sentence like that. And this person, according to the allegations, torched a government building. The laws are very different there. That basically amounts to an act of war against God. The sentence for that is obviously pretty severe. So there is context to this claim, though. The 15,000, that number, comes from a UN estimate of the total number of people detained in the demonstrations in Iran. To my knowledge, only 1,000 to 2,000 of those were ever actually even charged. I don't even know that all of those people are still in custody. But again, I'm not covering this deeply, so fact check that as more information comes out. The letter that is being referenced, it's real. It is real. It came from Parliament to the judicial branch. Iran has a separation of governments, not unlike the U.S., but the letter itself doesn't actually specify what the punishment they're saying should be. Just saying, hey, it should be severe and teach the lesson quickly. It's also not like from all of Parliament. It's, I want to say, 220, which is a decent amount of their Parliament. But this is more akin to, let's say, Boebert and Holly and the Space Laser Lady putting out a letter to judges in Portland saying, hey, be extra tough on those demonstrators. That's kind of what this is. So there have not been 15,000 sentences handed down like that. As far as anybody knows, there's been one. That being said, the people I know that actually are covering this deeply, they do expect more. And there is a significant worry about a number of people who were charged with crimes that is a possible punishment. So while it hasn't happened, that doesn't mean that the Iranian government isn't going to use that penalty to deter further demonstrations. But at this moment, it hasn't occurred. It appears as though this is journalist telephone, where one outlet reported something, and then another outlet got a piece of information, and then somebody put the two together, and then as it moved along, the story kept changing. But at this point in time, there are not 15,000 people sentenced that way, and there is a significant concern from human rights advocates about those who have been charged with the more severe crimes. But there's also not an expectation of 15,000. That's nobody that I talk to. Again, I'm not covering this deeply, but nobody I talk to is expecting numbers anywhere near that high, like not even close. but they do expect more, which any is a concern. You know, I would wait for a fact check from AP or something like that before getting in too much of an uproar over this, because the information that is available tonight, it doesn't look like this is happening the way most of the reporting is saying it is. So I would wait for somebody who's really covering this to talk about it, or a fact check from a straight up news organization that doesn't have a political agenda here, that is just saying this is what's occurring. Because there's a lot of information that is inaccurate, but most of it looks like it's inaccurate due to it being out of context. Not that somebody is intentionally misreporting, but more they're synthesizing pieces of information that don't necessarily go together. So I would be real careful with this one. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.